It was a weekend of many emotions. I think when we look back to Friday night, it's a night that everyone in attendance and probably everyone that has now viewed the goal will remember for the rest of their lives. And it was really nice to get our first victory of the season. And then we carried that momentum through in the first half of Sunday. I thought we were excellent in the first half, and credit to Bucknell. They really stepped their game up in the second half and made it very difficult for us, and probably got a deserved victory, but a weekend of many emotions, and most of them very good ones.
Do you want to just talk about the game-winning goal on Friday night? Obviously, you said it was viewed by a lot of people. Talk about what happened on that play and what you told Russell.
Yeah, it was an interesting one because the storms had come through, and we were sort of expecting the referees to call the game at any minute. So we knew that time was limited. We felt the wind picking up, and it actually changed direction in our favour, which was very unusual as well. And it's something that we've always had up our sleeve if needed, and we felt it was the perfect occasion. So we gathered the team in and sort of instructed Russell to have a go, and we know he could do it. And it was just incredible that it actually came off, and no surprise that he's got the ability to do that, but a little bit of surprise that it actually happened in the events that it did.
Sounds stupid to ask, but do you guys practice that, aside from just taking wild shots before practice? Have you ever actually practiced to have it sit down like that?
No, we haven't actually gone through it that way, but what we have done with the team several times is what we call a crossbar challenge, and we'll do it from a variety of distances. It might start off 30 yards out, and you may get back all the way to halfway, and the idea is that you try and hit the crossbar. So, you know, in an indirect way, I guess we have practiced it, but not from a kickoff.
Marcus and Russ, just take us through your thoughts on the play.
There was a lot of urgency because of the storms coming through. We were we didn't want to tie a game that we thought we should have been the clear winners of, and we saw the wind picking up, and I just had to go, and right when I hit it, I thought I connected pretty well with it, but I didn't expect it to go in, and then when it finally did, all my emotions burst out. So
yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was one of those shots you just you just imagine sometimes, like. We knew we needed to win. Like, we were a better team. We knew we could beat Bryant, and we just didn't want to have a tie. And Stu, like, the mentality he has is just getting wins, getting victories. We just told him to have a go, and it went in, and we got the victory. So it was goal accomplished kind of thing.
Stu, talk about Russell's play on Friday night especially. He had two basically highlight reel goals. Talk about his play on Friday night that helped you guys prevail.
Yeah, Friday night he finally got some reward for all the work that he's been doing. I think Russell's been excellent in every game we've played and has been a real threat. And he found himself in a pocket of space there in the first half and does what he does best, which is find that back post with a little curler. We've seen that a lot of times from him before in games last season and then every week in practice. So we knew he could do that, and it was nice for him to get off the mark. And he was a real threat the whole match. You could see every time he got the ball, they were very concerned, and rightly so, because of the danger that he possesses going forward. So it was nice to see him get the winning goal and get the 2 goals, and it's only going to push him on from this point.
Russell, you guys fought back after Bryant scored the first goal of the game. They scored the second goal to take the lead, and you guys showed a lot of fight and to eventually win. Talk about what you guys talking about as captains. Both of you could answer this. What did you have to do in order to like tell your guys, let's go, let's do this, like the fight that you guys showed?
Yeah, well, we know all the best teams, if they get scored on, they don't let it affect them, and they come back and play even harder, and that's what me and Marcus tried to tell the boys, and at a point in the game, it came into my hands to try to equalize the game, and I knew I could do it. I put it away.
Yeah, I think responding back was great. We were down 1-0. We've been down 1-0 before. I think we've conceded the first goal in the 3 of our 4 games coming up to this one. So just getting to come back actually 1-1. Russell scored a great goal, and it was just to put the stamp on everything. And then when we went down again, we knew we could do it again. And even though we had a short time frame, we still got it done. So it was good.
Marcus, you had mentioned, I think you mentioned it, one of you guys did, just about expecting wins, etc. And I know you guys are an extremely confident bunch. And how easy has it been to see that confidence, nurtured up to be? I mean, it's a mentality that Stu's obviously been working on for a couple of years. But when you guys go out there, when you hear you guys talk, you go out to expect to win every game. And how long do you think, over the course of this last year and a half, or whatever you want to call it, how long did it take for that to get into place?
I think it really went into place during spring season last year. Obviously, with our record last year, we had a pretty rough year. But spring season, we came with a fresh mentality. We had a new system that coaches put in place that we all implemented pretty well. And then when we did implement that system, we saw wins. So when we saw how good we can do in the spring and it transferred over to fall, we just knew that winning is, if we did in the spring, we could do it in the fall. So it's not expected, but we put ourselves in good positions to get wins. And I think that we do that every game. And if we play our game and do what we can do, we can expect wins to come at the end of 90 minutes.
Stu, is that when you saw that sort of philosophy taking hold with the rest of the players? Was it the spring for you?
Yeah, maybe a little bit further back. I think there was at times in the fall, obviously we lost 7 games by 1 goal, quite unlucky at times, so we saw development then, but the spring we saw it take that next stage. I think through the course of pre-season we were excellent, and we've gone through a little bit of a patch now where we've been indifferent, but the best is yet to come, and I've got full confidence we're going to see that beginning this weekend.
Russ, I mean, you're talking, at least the last time I checked, which was last night, over 50,000 views of a goal you scored, and it's getting mentioned by MLS.com, and even the weird, not weird, but weird to read for us English speakers, you'll see the foreign ones where it just says American University goal, and has Buffalo on there, and it's garbled English, but the goal is still there. What has that been like to see it and yourself getting mentioned on Twitter?
Yeah, it's extremely exciting to see my name in all these different papers and stuff, and then it's also great recognition for the rest of the team. Maybe they'll like log on to watch one of our games live, and they'll get attached to us, and they'll follow the UB Bulls soccer team. So it's been great.
What have you given him any trouble for it, Marcus?
Not really any trouble. More congratulations. Like, he's been up for top goal of the week on Top Drawer and stuff like that. It's just a great accomplishment. Like, it's an individual award, obviously, and he did an individual goal, but like he said, we see it as a team thing. Like, it brought national spotlight to our team, like State University of New York, so I think that was a really good thing. And yeah, Russell just one of those guys. He just takes applause well and stuff like that. Like, he's a very humble guy, so it's not too hard. You can't really knock on him for it.
Well, I was going to say, how about Friday and Sunday? Obviously, big 4 games in any sport are a big deal, but I mean, you guys getting your first chance to formally play Niagara since last year, and obviously, Stu, you have a lot of connections with Durham over at Canisius. Should be a really fun weekend for soccer fans.
Yeah, as we've spoken about on several occasions, it's a massive soccer town, Buffalo. So 2 huge games this weekend, and we expect big turnouts for both. And who they'll be supporting, we don't know, but it's up to us to put a good product on the field. And the lads have really trained hard so far this week and will continue to do so. So we're really looking forward to 2 very difficult challenges. And I'm sure that we're going to see 2 good performances from Buffalo boys.
Friday night, we saw Nikolai Barry come off the bench, and he had 2 assists for you. Talk about his play. He was injured earlier in the season, didn't play in the first 2 matches. Talk about his development so far this season.
Yeah, Nikolai was probably a little bit disappointed in himself the way he performed last season, but that sometimes happens with the international lads when they come across during that first season of college soccer. He had done exceptionally well at home over the summer, so we were really excited to get him back and healthy. And unfortunately, an injury set him back a little bit through the course of pre-season, where he wasn't able to train as much as he would have liked to. And we're just starting to see the best of him. I think having him as a weapon off the bench where we can use him for 15 or 20 minutes at a time is a great asset to have. And we saw him almost back to his best there on Friday night with 2 great assists.
Russell, there was a moment on Sunday in the game, I want to say it was in the second half, where you had the ball on the left side of the field, pinged it almost all the way off into the corner. Marcus has certainly been known to do that on occasion. How do you both of you guys decide that as aggressive players when to just take people on and when to turn provider? Because it's certainly a great pass, so we know it's in your repertoire, but at the same time you're scoring plenty of goals as well.
For me, I just got to recognize the situation. Like, if they have 7 or 8 guys behind the ball, I know I'm not going to beat all of them. But if it's like 1 or 2, then I know I can take them on. And when I first get the ball, I get my head up quick, and then I make my decision from there. And a couple of times when I hit those long balls, I saw a lot of space in that corner for our guys to run onto.
Yeah, and the same thing. Russell's great at taking guys one-on-one. I might play that ball a little bit more because I don't really like taking guys one-on-one as much, but it's the same thing. He has a great knack for that stuff. I might hit it more, and I play on the wing more, so that switch is what we work on at practice, the diagonal ball and stuff like that. But, yeah, it just comes just being a soccer player and stuff like that. Sometimes you can't be as aggressive. You need to let your teammates do some work for you. So.
Does anybody else on the team, Russ, hit one maybe as hard as Marcus does? Is that a pain to get onto the end of sometimes?
I think we have a lot of talented guys that could hit a ball like that. Nikolai Barry is good at it. Abdullah's good at it. Our team is full of talented players that could hit that ball. So.
Russ, on Sunday I noticed you were more boisterous possibly than you were on Friday. I don't know if that was just because of the situation of the game, but talk about how important communication is, especially being a captain on the field.
Yeah, we stress it all the time at practice. If you're not going to communicate, we're not going to be successful. And sometimes maybe I get too emotional out there, but I've been really trying to work on as a leader, cooling myself off, and then being more constructive with my criticism and trying to uplift the boys. So.
Good.